Welcome to another edition of LAB Talk, Life After Basketball Conversations. Today we have Columbus's very own Twism's finest, a 3-point specialist. Were you part of the headband gang?
Oh no.
You wasn't part of the headband gang?
The headband gang.
We wish you was a part of headband gang. Welcome to the show, Marscilla Packer.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Appreciate you, man. What you been up to these days?
Whew, besides getting old, let's see here. Man, staying busy. Once I finished playing, kind of got into athletic administration a little bit. Been doing that for the last 8 years, and recently I just kind of made a switch, but still staying involved in sports and kids and loving it. So just staying busy. I officiate as well, so all involved in all sports as much as I can be.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing to kind of be on the other side of that, on the different side of the ball. You know what I mean? We used to be in the athlete and people being fans of us, but now we look at it from a different perspective, and that's dope. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear you still are involved with sports. Let's take it back a little bit and talk to us about young Marscilla. How was childhood? How was your childhood in Columbus?
Oh man, I was so blessed. Gosh, terrific parents. I can't thank them enough for all they did for me. But I started out young in Columbus. I started out in the rec leagues. I was up on the north side it was Northeast Rec, but now I believe it's called Howard Rec up there. And back then there weren't any girls leagues, so definitely played in the boys side, and that was the norm. But yeah, always loved playing, played all kinds of sports and just was always active. So that was my life. Thank goodness for sports because, quite frankly, I was not the scholar athlete back growing up. I always wanted to stay busy, but it kept me on the right path, definitely. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. I love to hear that. I love to hear about, just being a kid who was active and playing multiple sports. I believe that you should play all kinds of sports because it all helps, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And don't just focus on one and try to be a master at it. Maybe not when you get older.
I think it definitely helps, especially for injuries and stuff. It's one of the things, when I was an AD, I just, tell kids try out for different stuff. You never know what you might fall into. You might not be thinking about it. There could be scholarships out there in sports you've never tried and you get opportunities, So, that was, I think the best thing was when I played soccer when I was younger and I learned how to fall. You always slide and whatnot in soccer. So when I was on the basketball court, it was oh, okay, I can take a hit. But it's nothing like falling on the field. So definitely keep encouraging kids to do that to this day.
Definitely. So when did you start playing ball? How was it introduced to you?
I first remember I was 3 years old. I went to the park with my grandmother and she was holding my hand. I saw some teenagers playing. Of course, I was obviously too little and she's like, no, baby, you can't play. But that is the first memory I have. Okay. And then after that, my parents just started putting me into camps and clinics. We were so lucky back then. We had Tim Brown and Take ABC. That was a big thing then. And we just had such great people who were there teaching us skills and stuff. And from that, it just went to rec ball. And then somebody mentioned something oh, okay, well, there's this AAU or travel ball. And it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
Once you just keep playing, you just keep getting more and more involved.
Yeah. People see that you have a love for the game and they want to, share those interests with you. Because when I was playing youth ball and then, my youth coach was like, hey, there's this AAU organization having tryouts. You should give it a try. Just see that you have a passion, see that you might be kind of good in something, and they want to, help further you along.
Yeah. And it also there was always such great people where they would be willing to open the gym for you. I think about that now and I'm like, man, just somebody, hey, I'll open up the gym for you, rec center, get some shots up. And I just think that was just so rare, back then, but so fortunate to have that because just the people who want to see kids get involved in some good stuff.
For sure. Giving back. Definitely. Okay, so you mentioned somebody brought AAU to your attention. I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I first seen you, we had battles with you because I played at Classic Way.
Yep.
You was on the Columbus Twism.
That's right.
Y'all had such a good team. It was
Mm-hmm.
you, Brittany Hunter, Kristen Peoples. Like, how was your AAU experience with that team?
Oh man, it was awesome. It was awesome because we had such great people and families. Like that's the one thing like I think back on so much is like not only were we were very talented, but like the people around us and surrounded us kept us grounded and humble. You know, like we just kept working. And we had like y'all know if you know Troy Taylor, I mean, obviously a Buckeye, and Ronnie Stokes, like were coaches for us. And I'm like, how the heck did we end up with these like Hall of Fame guys coaching us, you know, for all these years? Like we were so lucky to have that. And I think the best thing about it was that, you know, we mostly all stuck together. You know, we for years, we just, I mean, you knew it was gonna be the same ones coming back year after year, trying to see each other at state and stuff. Like, you know, so I mean, it was just a really cool thing then because, you know, once our school seasons were over, we knew right away we were heading to our AAU team practice. There was never really a time we weren't in the gym. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons why we had such a great experience and had such success. Like everybody was working. And again, I mean, at that time, it didn't even seem like work. It was just fun.
I know, like there wasn't any distractions. It was kind of like the people who you were hanging with was on the same page as you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just didn't have that outside, you know, just crap going on. You know, and I'm not trying to like not like social media now. You know, social media is big and there's pros and cons to it. But I don't know. I mean, I love the time that we grew up. I don't know if I would care so much for social media if it was back then.
No, I definitely wouldn't have wanted social media back then. But you know, I think about like the kids now, and it's like they have to navigate that. Like for me, I think for us it was like that beginning of college area when like Facebook started on the scene. And you know, then it was more like protect yourself then. But now it's more like market yourself. And I think with these kids now growing up within it, they kind of have, you know, they kind of understand it. Hopefully, we still have some situations where they don't, but I'm glad we didn't have it at our time. You know, I really don't think it affects things so much today at all. You know, coaches are gonna find you. You got the talent. They're gonna find you. You know,
they are going to find you. It's not always greener. You know, it's, you know, great. Like it worked out for you, but I'm such a firm believer in that. Like if word of mouth, people are gonna find you.
Yeah.
Keep balling.
Just play.
But I do like that about social media. Like you mentioned, you know, you can market yourself, you know, if you're doing workouts or, you know, you just want to put yourself out there. You know, I do love that, you know, it's a lot faster process, you know, and hopefully it works out in your favor.
Yeah.
I definitely do love social media for that. You know, so speaking more on AAU, like to me, I found that AAU really helped build my IQ. You know, like, you know, learning position, you know, who takes the ball out or, you know, the point guard bringing it up. That's stuff that I knew, but AAU really helped, you know, enhance that for me.
Like, well, I mean, that's because you had great coaches that were teaching you things. So that was a special thing about AAU back then. And I know I sound old saying that, but you know, we would execute, we would get better. You know, we didn't just depend on our school seasons to do that with our, you know, high school programs. So I think that's what a big difference that I see. Yes, there are still programs that have that, but not as much, unfortunately. And that's what I like to, I mean, that's what I market to kids. It's just, and parents, like look for a team that you're going to play with. You know, it's not all about always traveling all around. Like you'll get to that. That stuff comes, but just play, get better, be around some good people, because that would make your experience a heck of a lot better. But that's definitely what I tell people, man. It's definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, it's one thing to get the looks, but you want to have the skills to go along with it. You know, you definitely want to learn from someone who's really there for you and, you know, for you and that's it. You know what I mean? Not trying to have a hidden agenda or try to level themselves up, but really there to help you grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Now, you talked earlier about, reffing a little bit and, being on the other side of the ball. What made you get into refereeing?
Oh, man, my family. I was lucky enough to take the class when I was at Ohio State. And at that time, yes, officiating basketball was the best thing ever. And then it's kind of funny. I didn't even have to do the testing part because they were like, listen, we don't need Coach Foster coming down here. You hurt your ankle in class or something. So we're good. We know you can get up the court. But my uncle and my dad initially were already in it. So during the summers, I could travel to AAU tournaments with them and get some experience. And that really was the key. And once I started doing that, it kind of took off from there. You get to travel around the different states and no one's going to mess with you. Your dad and your uncle are with you, So
it ain't nobody.
And it was helpful because, my dad, he's a big guy. So at that time, if I wasn't too confident blowing my whistle, I'm like, okay, he'll get it, just it can be right in front of me, but he could get it. But like eventually, I had to be off on my own. So that's how it got started. And then just like, you mentioned like someone seeing you play ball, someone saw me on the court and was like, hey, come to this camp with me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll come to camp, and didn't know anything and, get some feedback. And then, it was so just similar to like playing, like you want to get better, you want to get feedback, so you keep going back for that and eventually get picked up and start being better games, different conferences. So I've enjoyed it. It's definitely a different perspective.
Yeah, it's definitely from seeing that other side, you have a respect for referees. I was never one to yell at the referees, at all. That wasn't me. But and I referee too. And
right.
That's funny that you said that you took a class in college, because if I would have known that back then, I would have jumped on refereeing a long time ago. Like, it's such a cool, part of the game.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of it. And, and from that experience, I began to teach the Ohio high school officiating course. And so, and then at my different stops as being AD, I wanted to incorporate those classes like into the curriculum there. Like, this is a nice way for kids to get involved with the sport, see a different side of it. And I said, actually, in your people skills, how are you going to handle that with somebody yelling at you? They don't agree with your call. So it's definitely given a lot back to me just to still be a part of the game.
Yeah. That's what's up. I didn't know that about you. That's really dope that you're doing that. And trying to bring that to kids. Are you doing that for like high school, or is that like a college?
I do rec, I do high school. I don't care what age you are. And I'm at the D2 college right now. So maybe go up one day. We'll see if I get those opportunities, but there's plenty of basketball and I love it. And I'm into a lot of things. So it fits my schedule very well. And yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot.
That's us athletes, man. I swear we have so much stuff going on.
We can't sit still. That's okay.
We can't, man. That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, so shifting to high school. You played at Pickerington North, a Division I school?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, in Ohio. How were those 4 years at Pickerington?
Well, I gotta say, I played at Pickerington. There was one for 3 of my high school 4 years. So, and then in 2004, my senior year is when Pickerington North was built, and I followed my coach, Coach Butcher, there. And man, my high school experience was insane. Pickerington was a basketball town. I moved in before my freshman year. And I was nervous, I still remember walking into Pick Central now and that gym for an open gym. And I was like, okay, what is this? Like, I don't really know these people. And so then I remember Coach Butcher coming over like, oh, relax, you're fine. And it was just like, let's hoop. Once we hoop, it's good. I know what I'm doing out here. So Pickerington was so great because of the community and the support. I found myself, later as I got older, looking to try to recreate that for a lot of programs, just what they gave me. But man, I just had so many cool players there and teammates. I think back now and I'm like, we had like 7 D1 athletes on our team, that got scholarships.
Okay.
And just really, really great, people and parents, again, that were just there to support all in. Team meals, how important that stuff is to programs and tournament time and everybody understanding the commitment. And I think that right there is just huge. I think I'm gonna sound old in our generation, like something that is kind of lacking these days, where it's like practice is an option or something. And it's just like, it's not, it's not. So I appreciate, at that time there was a freshman JV varsity girls programs at that time in Pickerington. So I just appreciate being a part of that and that kind of development and understanding now what all goes into that to build something like that. Like that doesn't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate to be able to go join such a historic program. There was so many great players before me, and play for a Hall of Fame coach. So, still close with them today.
Yeah, man, it takes a village. Like you mentioned, it takes, family, parents, if you have 2 parents in the home, that's great. 1 parent in the home, that's fine too, but it really takes that consistency from the adults around you to help you grounded as a teenager. You know what I mean? To help keep your head level. And I really believe that, just kind of like what you're saying, like that's so important for the growth process.
Yeah. And that is like, that extends like into, Pickerington's not far from Columbus, right down the street, but within that community, because there were so many other great players in other schools, that were going big places, and we play them, and it was still, all love. Like, you just love seeing everybody do well and succeed. So, growing up within that, I know that it's possible for everybody to vibe and, wish everybody well. So I hope we can see that more often in 2021 for sure.
I hope so too. To me, in my opinion, I feel like some things have gotten watered down because maybe parents are pushing the envelope. And you should, you should want your kids to strive for greatness. Definitely. But you can't force your passion onto them.
No, you just got to put them in the situations to be successful. Put them around good people that are doing the right things. I always tell people, like, look what the kind of resources your coach or trainers may have. I love to see, nowadays, you can coach high school and you can coach some of your players. So, like, I love to see that. Like, if that's a possibility, like, that's a guaranteed thing right there. We can be working almost year round. So, I say, like, look for that. Look for those resources without having to rent a bunch of facilities. They can just open the gym for you, and look for that. Look for fundraisers. It's nice. Yes, it's great if you can be able to pay for stuff, but look for that, because heck, just as talented as we were doing car washes back in the day. Like we were all out there, parents and kids. So I think those pieces of programs can make a huge difference still to this day.
Yeah, I totally agree. So at Pickerington, you were blessed to be a part of some really, really good teams. And in Ohio during our time, again, old, but in our time, Ohio had ballers, like from the top down, the whole state ballers. How far did Pickerington go?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
How far did Pickerington go in the tournament?
Oh, man, that's easy. Regional finals 4 years straight. Game away from state. 4 years. Yep. But there were some hoopers like there, what you said. I had to go Brookhaven, Brittany Hunter, 1 year. Stephanie Blanton, Lancaster, 1 year. I know Mel Thomas was senior year. Oh, goodness. And it might have been, and I believe it was Mason, Michelle Munoz, Jeray Isom. Yep. That was Illinois. Yeah, that was some hoopers. So I'm like, regional final 4 years straight. But had a heck of a time at Pickerington. So definitely had a great career there.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was blessed to make it to the Final Four 1 year. Ran into a tough team, Regina. For us in Division III, they had won like 4 straight. So just trying to get over that hurdle was tough in itself, but it's hard, man. You never forget. You never forget that stuff.
Still to this day. I mean, it never goes away, but that's the beauty in it. That's the beauty in it. You know, it's you're always a part of something.
Yeah, and learning from those lessons, however you do. Okay, so when did becoming to get a scholarship, trying to get one, when did that become a focus for you? Like what year?
I don't think it wasn't like ever to focus. You know, it was kind of like just always what I guess what you was supposed to happen. You play and, you know, you go to tournaments, there's college coaches there to hopefully like you and want to offer you a scholarship. But I would say probably, I mean, I was 6th grade when I got my first letter. That was from Iowa.
That's what's up.
And that was cool. Like, oh, wow. I'm only 12, you know, I think about that. And then, you know, I got to high school, obviously, and then I went to Pickerington. So, you know, coaches are starting, you know, see you in the AAU scene and whatnot. But I'd say like my sophomore year, I went to go visit to Tennessee. So I was freaking out because, I mean, I was a sophomore and I never forget it. We drove down there and we passed her and she had this white Benz and I was like, oh my God, it was that Summit. Like, oh my gosh. And it didn't even dawn on me. Like, that's what's so funny now. It didn't even dawn on me like, girl, you down here because she wants to recruit you. Like, it doesn't click. You're still a kid. And so got out and then she hugged me and I was like, oh my God, like she know my name. So then it was like from then that kind of sealed the deal. Like, oh man, this is legit. So that was great. But oh man, Tennessee, that was awesome. That was an awesome experience. And then Purdue was big. I loved Purdue at the time. Oh gosh, Kelly Curry was there. So just great people. Like that's what I remember like the most. Like I was getting to know these people and about them, and they were just kind of bringing me into this family during the recruiting process. So that was fun. But I didn't take all my visits. One major thing happened because when I played AAU, I was always a year behind everyone. I played up. So when it became for class of 2003 to make their decisions, Brandy Hoskins, Stephanie Blanton, and Jessica Davenport chose Ohio State. And I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, it's about to go down. Like, okay, I get a year to watch the Buckeyes. And that was it. I was like sold.
That's what you needed.
Yeah. And it was great to see, you know, like there was this new energy coming in and I didn't know much about Coach Foster at the time. But like I said, I had a year to kind of watch what was going to go down there and it was dope. And the best thing about it was that I had played AAU with Steph and Brandy. So and I played for Dayton a little bit. So yeah, it was like just go up the street, you know, and it is one of the best decisions I ever made to this day.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you did stay at the crib. I was the same too. I stayed just down the street, you know, at Xavier. And you know, I had a great experience. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I wish I would have went away, but you know, it was an incredible experience for sure. To kind of do it at home, you know, have friends, your high school friends, your family come and see you. So that's an incredible experience that I don't regret for sure.
Yeah. I mean, eventually we got it though, right? We got to go overseas. So
we
left for real. We went to
left for real. A whole time zone for sure. Okay, so you mentioned Coach Foster. You didn't really know much about him at first, but you know, what kind of coach was he?
Oh man, Coach Foster was super cool. Like it's so funny now because you just think about the stuff that he would say to you in college and it's like, it's okay. I deserved it then, but you appreciate it now. And I will never forget when I finished playing overseas, I went back to Pickerington and coached for a couple years. And I said, you guys don't pay attention to detail. And I was like, oh my gosh, I sound just like, yeah. I was like, ooh, so no, Coach Foster was incredible. But you know, he had an amazing staff though. Like I had Tamika Williams up there, Kelly Murray was there, Ed Baldwin, like just these incredible people again that had their families there. They made all the sacrifices to be there and build what we were trying to do there. And they were just dope. And they just were about everyone, you know, like my entire family and bringing everybody in and feeling a part of the program. So I mean, Shalisa, the trainer, like it was everybody.
Managers, everybody, and that's what you want. When you're looking for a university to be a part of, that's what you want. You want to feel like home, and not only for yourself, but for your extended family, because you're giving your blood, sweat, and tears to this university, and you want to feel that, So that's amazing that Ohio State was that for you. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Going into your freshman year, you mentioned you was like, oh, it's on and popping. Like my homies are there, you know what I mean? I get a chance to see them. And then now I'm stepping in on campus my freshman year. Was it everything that you expected?
No, freshman year. I barely touched the court. No.
I know.
But like that was an experience in itself too. Like you've been everything for so many years. And now it's like this is a different level. I was behind a fifth-year senior at shooting guard. Like, yo, she's put in her work. Like, oh man, like this is your spot, So I never forget. Like Jess Davenport looked at me. It was my first practice freshman year. I was like, Pat, you gonna make it? Like, yeah, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, that conditioning was something on a whole different level.
Yes, I know. But I'm like, I can't. It's funny thinking back, and I'm like, man, like 5-something workouts. Dang, but
at 5.
Right. Be ready. Yeah, you gotta be rehab to do. Make sure you get it done early. Like, and everyone was there.
Right. Nobody was walking in late, and if you did, you was messing up for all of it. So we need you to get up, fam. Man, freshman year was tough for me too, man. But how so you say your freshman year you didn't play much. I believe you were averaging 2 points a game. Then sophomore year you went 10, junior year to 10, and then your senior year 15. What sparked that scoring surge? Did you get the green light? Confidence?
Well, yeah, I mean, a little bit of both. Fifth-year senior Kate Motter graduated, so she went on to the league. So got to get my opportunity. And man, we had such I had like Kim Wilburn, point guard. I had Brandy on the wing. We had Debbie Merrill, was a monster. She came from UC and came to Ohio State. So we just had some monster, players, and just was super athletic. We that sophomore year was fun. That's the year we won the Big Ten tournament and the regular season. So that was just a great year with just everybody just kind of working and vibing together. And we were very, I feel like old that year. That's like Kim, Ashley Allen, Candace Dart. Like we just had a bunch of a lot of seniors. So a lot of experience. And so we were pretty dope that second year. I think we went first or second round of the NCAA tournament, maybe. We never got past 2016 when I was there. So that still stings a little bit, to this day.
Man, we never forget. There's been games where I haven't even watched it. I know I played in the game. I know the score. I know what happened. I don't want to relive it. No, thank you, man. No, thank you. You guys had some really incredible teams. You guys had some amazing runs, at your time in Ohio State. What was it like to play in the Big Ten?
It was just crazy competitive. One thing that I didn't realize was just how well you knew all the other players in the Big Ten. From your scouting reports, from media, whatnot. Like you just knew everybody, so that made it even tougher to play because you knew all the things they did. But we had. Man, the toughest place to play in the Big Ten for me was Michigan State. The Breslin Center was just hard. We had some epic games up there. Man, we played them, I want to say my sophomore year. And we were I'm telling you, we were down. It's funny. You know how you always practice those plays at the end of practice where it never happened. You got 3 seconds, whatever. We just practiced and going through. Okay. So we did that, and it just so happened it worked out that way. And I made this pass to Ashley Allen, and everyone thought I took a shot, and it was a lob to just Davenport, and we beat Michigan State at the buzzer. Like,
wow!
Still to this day, I'm like, that was amazing. And then like a lesson in itself, like, dang, y'all, we do that every practice. And we'd be like, okay, well, we just got to do it to, if it ever happens. And I'm like, that stuff really happened. And just, it's always some lessons always coming out of it. And it's just like all that, I'm gaining all of this from playing. Like this, crazy.
Like, man, coach, they know what they're talking about. We should probably listen.
Right.
We should probably trust them and listen because, they've been here before. They're not new to this. That's funny. You were a part of USA Basketball, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What year, like, did you get a phone call?
Gosh, I don't remember. I think it was a letter, but yeah, at the time, Coach Foster was affiliated with USA Basketball a lot. He had been a part of it for years in different ways. And then I got to go out to tryouts out there, and I made the under 19, under 20 team. It was my sophomore and junior year when I was at Ohio State. First year we went to Mexico City, and Coach Joanne P. McCauley, who was at that time at Michigan State, then she went to Duke and she's left now. But she was our coach. So that was great. And I had Victoria Lucas Perry from Michigan State on my team. It was great. So that was Mexico City. We won gold. Following year, got another opportunity to try out, made the team again. A lot of similar faces. This time we went to Moscow, Russia. And we were over there, and we went to France while we went and played some like exhibition games in France while we were there. So gold medal that time too. So
wow, that's an incredible experience. How does it feel to have a gold medal?
It is a blessing, and I'm so glad I had the experience because with having that USA Basketball experience, that allowed me to feel a little bit more comfortable when I had the opportunity to go play professionally overseas. I think a lot of times as Americans, we are like, oh, we're the best country in the world. So at a very young age, I got to go explore and saw some really cool places. And travel for free. Who doesn't love that? But yeah, I enjoyed it. Can't really explain how it feels to hear like your national anthem like that. Like it's just like kind of surreal that you've done this and what this means and to represent your country. One of the coolest things I got to do on that trip was go to the U.S. consulate while we were there. There was some big party and we had invitations and we got to try caviar for the first time. Wow. So yeah, just extra, I'm there to play basketball, but it's just also allowing me to be here and experience this and experience a different country. So it just kept giving back, man.
An orange basketball that you love just because you love it. No one's forcing you, taking you across the waters at a young age. Like that's basketball can take you so many places, man. If you let it, if you work hard, if you dedicate your time, that says a lot about you. You know what I mean? Like you were constantly working, to better yourself, and people notice that about you. What type of player would you say you were? Were you a gym rat? Was stuff just natural for you?
I was just always had a ball in my hand. I could say not even to this day have I ever had a basketball hoop at my house. And it's wild, but I would just always, I remember grabbing the ball and going into the garage and just dribbling around and like running back in the house. Like I was just hyper, so thank goodness that I had something to do. But yeah, it was constant, and then the better I got at it, the more I wanted to do it. There was this awesome neighbor across the street who would always allow me to go shoot on his hoop. So I didn't have one in my house, but across the street I did. And when I was able to beat my dad at horse, when I finally was able to hit the bank shot, that's what was sealed the deal. Like, oh, you'll never beat me again.
Good old bank shot.
It was over. Once I had that, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. I can beat dad. So, and I was just always going to practice or something. And, it never felt like work. It was just like, okay, I gotta go to school, yeah, but I got practice tonight. We got a tournament this weekend. You always had something to look forward to. And it also gave me like these friends outside of school in your neighborhood, these extra people that you get to hang out with, and you're going through the same thing, and you just kind of had these different pockets of people that you got to be around, and it just kept growing and growing. So just always willing to go shoot anywhere. Somebody want to play? Yeah, I'll play. Always. That's just how it was.
Ball was definitely life. Definitely. Even myself, we had a hoop in my backyard, and I would shoot a lot. My dad would go out there and show me a couple things, but I just remember being inside as well, and I might be laying in the bed and just like little silly stuff, just shooting the ball. You know what I mean? Like that all helped your game. Like, believe it or not, like it might sound crazy, and I think to this generation now, you tell them stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, that's kind of stupid," but throwing a piece of paper in the trash, like
right.
It helps, man.
It does. It's some small things. I know what you're talking about. I do the same thing, and I'm like, listen, that helps your shot, and you start breaking down your shot and how it's coming off your hand. Like that's homework I would give the kids. Like you're just in the bed chilling. Do 50 of those.
Yeah, 50 exactly. Come on now. If we could listen to us, like we should have listened to our coaches.
But we did, right? We did. Because look, we made it. We made it out.
Facts. So we know that March Madness is going on right now. Have you been checking out the girls' games?
Of course. I watched that game. I watched that Baylor UConn game last night. So that was yeah. No, it's been super fun to watch these last week. Now, they took care of some items that they, dropped the ball on, but yeah, it's been fun to watch. I'm glad the game is getting some recognition finally. We've all known it's been there, but it's a shame that it took what happened with, the weight room discrepancies to get it highlighted the way it is now.
I know. I hate to say it, that stuff has been happening, in social media. That's kind of the pro to it. You get put on blast. People are stepping up and people are talking, supporting women's sports right now, and it's really a beauty to see that. Like I'm so grateful to see the game growing and people realizing like if we have those resources too, we can ball. We were balling out before the resources. Don't get me wrong, but we deserve it too. We deserve it too. And these ladies are hooping. I'm truly enjoying the tournament this year. Now Ohio State, you've been blessed to go 4 years. How was that? I've only went once, and the time I went, I was like, "Oh my God!" It felt like amazing. You went 4.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those experiences, like those 4 years.
I think the thing that stands out to me now is the intensity of it all. That like watching the games now and seeing, you just feel it. Even though there's not a bunch of people in the stands, you can see that level with the kids playing. And that's what I remember. It was like, this could be my last game. This could be my teammate's last game. It's the last time I'm gonna play with this girl. I've been with her for years, and what that means to the program. And it's just kind of like, dang, this is it. All the months of training and waking up and film, all that. And this is it. You just kind of never think that it's gonna end. Same thing when you're in high school. You just always it's gonna be forever, it lasts forever. And then it's done. It's just like, man, what now? What now? But I mean, I think the being able to experience is worth it. Obviously, you get to go, you get to fly, you get to, be wine and dined. I do miss that. I miss that about college basketball.
Wow.
I mean,
yes.
As we were spoiled. We got to fly private jets. Like that was, I'm like, man, I don't miss that.
After games, after away games, you get on the bus or the plane, your food was sitting on your chair. Just like, man, you weren't even thinking about it. You was like, oh, you have to order this. Like, thank God.
Right.
Waiting on me.
But that is like, everyone had their role. That's what I loved about it. Like those things matter. Can you imagine how upset you would have been if your food wasn't there after the game? Like you missed it or somebody didn't write it in for you, and like, it would just been all bad. So like that right there, yeah, I definitely missed that part.
Shout out to the managers, man. It's all love. We straight love y'all. Even timeouts, bro. Like timeouts, you running to the bench, they right there with your dress. Like I totally appreciate them. I loved all my managers during my
I cannot wait for my wife to hear you say that, because she makes fun of me all the time. Because I'm like, manager, like, I'm like, you don't understand. That was the lifestyle. Like, there was a person there with your water ready. Like, It's so funny now, but yeah, I'm like, they were important. They were a part of the team. Like,
part of the team, thanks.
Yeah, we needed them.
We definitely did. Like you said, everybody had a role, and for this whole shit to function, everybody has to do their part.
Yep.
Everybody's doing their part. So the what next? You know, when your last game, when that buzzer hits, it hurts. You know, it hurts because you're like, man, this is no longer anything. When I wake up tomorrow, I'm starting my life. You know, what was next for you? Like, did you end up getting drafted? What was next after college?
Yes. So I was fortunate enough I got drafted by Phoenix in the 3rd round. And I was super awesome. I was like, okay, I got an opportunity. So went out there for a couple of weeks. I was cut after about 3 weeks, I believe it was. And then after that, I went overseas. So the great thing, I didn't know it then. Again, this is one of those situations where like, I've really never been cut in my life. Like, okay. Yeah. So this is different, but it's a resume builder. And this is where you start to learn the business side. Like, okay, you're not in college anymore. This is the game. This is business now. This is your livelihood. So, you know, that was great for me because it was a resume builder. So it got me overseas. First place I went to was Germany. And Germany was an experience. I didn't stay there the entire season. But when I look back now, it was based just because it's different. You know, not my first time leaving the country, but, you know, listen, I'm used to an oven at home, you know, and there's just a microwave in my apartment. This is not an oven. Y'all said I had an oven. So.
American oven.
Right. So Germany wasn't bad, just some learning experiences. So left Germany and then I went to Sweden. Sweden was awesome. They speak English in Sweden. So that made it very, you know, easy, but met some amazing people there. Started to meet, you know, players that had kind of moved their families or met their spouses over in different countries and they were on the team. So that was super cool. And I really grew up in Sweden. You know, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing, going back and forth, you know, over here about 6 months, coming home. So that was nice. But also what I was able to do, you know, it's opposite seasons from the, you know, WNBA. So when I would come back in the spring and summer, you know, those AAU tournaments that I was officiating in, I actually got an opportunity to start running them for an organization. So kind of started to get into that sport management piece, not even realizing at the time, I'm like, oh yeah, I can track brackets and stuff. Like I was here, I did this before. And so that was a heck of an opportunity where I really started to enjoy that side of it. And then I was coaching after that. And then I kind of had to make a decision. Do I want to coach or do I want to ref? And I was like, I really am enjoying officiating a lot. So went that route and became assistant AD at Columbus School for Girls. I was there for 4 years, and that's where I fell in love with it. I was like, this is awesome. I love being able to help kids get to that next level, you know, and that's where I fell in love with it. So got really, really lucky and falling into sports administration. And then after that, I went to Ohio Dominican, much smaller than Ohio State, and got my master's in sport management, and it just kind of went from there. So it was kind of really smooth because I was just always in the sport. I was always in the sport, and I took a lot of the things that from my experiences overseas and, you know, what I knew playing and whatnot, and kind of tried to mix that together to, you know, best help the programs that I was, you know, overseeing. So it was scary for a little bit, but, you know, eventually you figure it out. You just keep trying, you know. I substitute taught for a while. I'm like, hey, okay, this is cool. Yeah. You know, so it's just like, keep trying different stuff and, you know, keep, you know, all the contacts that you have from playing, like that's huge. I mean, it's all about, you know, meeting new people and having new experiences, and you never know like how that'll help you out.
Yeah. Like it sounds like for you, like things just began to fall into place from one opportunity to the next, and you know that's really, really important. You know, you want to get involved with something, and you never know where that'll lead to next. So that's kind of dope that it was, you know, kind of seamless, you know, for you during that time.
Well, it sounds seamless now, but I can probably assure you 11 years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? You know, it's funny. Like I mentioned Columbus School for Girls. I didn't even realize that I was going in for an interview until after I had got the job. I was like, I thought we were just meeting to talk. I had on Ohio State polo. Like I didn't look bad, but I was coming in here just to, touch base and, have a conversation. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I did okay then.
You're hired. That's what they say.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So there met some really great people and got to learn from a lot of great people. So I've been very blessed and fortunate in my career so far.
That's what's up. Do you miss playing ball at all?
Sometimes. I had a Papa shot in my dining room for about 6 months.
Yep, gotta have it.
And yeah, I mean, I miss playing, but I don't want to get hurt. Getting hurt is expensive as you get older. And it's just like, and it's kind of like as you grow in your career, we weren't thinking about salaries or contracts when we were playing, coming up in AAU in high school and college. Like, but then you get to the business side, and it's like, okay, now this could cost me money, if I hurt this and whatnot. So I shoot around every now and then, I'm out there officiating. When I get to train kids, it's always great. It's awesome right now. I have nieces and nephews who are coming up who are ready to start playing. And, I get to be guest coach every now and again. And whew, it's a little bit different.
I know, man. Especially for me, man. Like I've been blessed not to have a serious injury in college, even my professional carear. But I feel like now stuff is starting to catch up with me. Like right now I got, a little arthritic hip. So, I got to stretch it out every now and then, crack it a little bit. But I try to get out there from time to time too. But you're right. I only do so much because I ain't.
So I was like, I'm going to join. Well, I got invited to join a kickball team. I'm like, this is going to be great. It'll get me outside, something to do. Only week 2. And I hurt myself. And I've seen it happen. You see people running down the baseline. They like pull a hammy or like, oh, and they pull up. And it happened to me. And I was like, oh, this is what this feels like. Like, oh, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, y'all. And I'm like, I just go sit down. Like, and then I convinced myself, like, listen, you are a basketball player. Stick to what you know. Like, I've been fortunate where I haven't gotten hurt as an official. I haven't yet to fall on the court in all the years. I hope it doesn't happen. But
let's stick
to what you know. Just stay on the hardwood. So, that's how I take it.
Yeah, man. I'm all about them inside sports. I'm gonna leave those outside sports. I'm gonna leave them alone. No, thank you. But even those inside sports, reffing, that's where I am. Training, I'll get out there and show a move or two, but I don't need to hit an over gym anymore. Mentally, I'm there. What I mean? I'm sharp. I feel like I can cross you no problem. But physically, I'll be like, watch the tape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me pull up hold on. Let me get pull it up on YouTube real quick.
Google myself real quick.
Yeah, there it is.
Like check the highlights, fam. All right. So what advice do you have or can you provide for a future or a current hooper playing in college right now, based off what you're doing now and the experiences that you had in college? What is some advice you can give a hooper now?
Oh, any time, any opportunity that you can learn anything from somebody you might not even think could offer anything. Listen, get some insight. I know a lot of times, when I was in college, there might be a visiting coach from somewhere else coming in. There might be could be somebody just affiliated with the program that can help you with your career or business resume or something. Like, meet those people. Those people matter. Always be approachable. You never know who's around. How you carry yourself. How you speak to people. You can go a long way with please and thank you.
Yes.
I mean, that gets you a long way in life. And just be kind. That's all I try to teach kids is be kind and as far as it goes, like the basketball, trust the process. Keep working hard, get better. You can be so great and so talented, but keep working on your game. Keep developing those weaknesses. I was very, very talented, but it was funny. Like when I was able to do a left-handed layup full speed freshman year of college, the staff went nuts. Like, okay, Pat can shoot and do all this, but look, she's developing. So it doesn't matter what level you get to, just keep working, and keep grinding, and that carries you on into your life and your career. We always had to adjust. when you're playing a game, make adjustments, team goes on a run, call a timeout, make adjustments. The same thing in life.
Yeah.
Same thing. You got to pivot. And I think for a lot of us, 2020 was a wake-up call as far as being able to pivot if you need to. So just, be kind, trust the process, and enjoy it because it goes fast. Definitely does.
I love to hear that, man. I love that. And, don't be content. Like you said, be kind for sure. My dad used to always tell me, you never know who's watching you. You know what I mean? If you're at an AAU tournament and you acting a fool and, this, that, third, you might turn somebody off. That might be their first impression of you, so be kind, like you mentioned, and just always be on your toes. Always be on your toes. That's what's up. All right, we are coming to the end of the show. So I want to hit you with some quick hitters. So the first thing that comes to mind, just go ahead and shout it out.
All right.
Your top 5 starting lineup. You know what I mean? Like who would be in your starting lineup?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Jordan for sure. Give me Jordan. I'm gonna take Shaq. Oh, I'm going to give me Peja Stojakovic because he can just light it up. Give me Peja. Oh, I need a banger on the inside. I'm thinking somebody old school right now. Oh, I want Ron Artest. That's what I need. I need a fighter in me. That's what I need. Yeah. And I'm going to give me AI as my point guard.
You need somebody to shake and bake and break it down. Pass it to Jordan, you know what I mean? That's what's up. That's a good starting lineup. That's a dope one. What is one basketball moment that if you could go back and do it all over again, which moment would that be?
Ooh. Back all over again. I'm going to go with high school. We were playing Brookhaven. One of those times where you think you know more than your coach and you really don't. And he was like, our game plan was pressure the ball as hard as possible, so make the passes hard, right? But, teenage Marscilla was like, that don't make sense. Like, I'm a sag off, I'm a sag off into her lap. So she won't get it. Yeah, that didn't work. Clearly we lost the game. But that moment right there, that is like the moment that still sticks out to me. I'm like, golly, just pressure the ball. What made you think that you knew more than your Hall of Fame coach did? I mean, you're a teenager, we think so. Right. But yeah, that pressure the ball.
Pressure the ball. Yeah. We have to rebel sometimes. But I love to hear that. I had a high school moment too. I'm like, back in high school, I wish I would have just done a whole lot of stuff different. But that's funny. Toughest player you had to guard? High school, college, overseas, in the WNBA?
Probably in college. I'm going to go with Jolene Anderson from Wisconsin. She was super, super hard to guard, just always moving like she's just coming off screen. That's usually what I'm doing. So now having to guard somebody like that, like I'm supposed to do this and that. Yeah, and geez, JoJo's still playing. It's actually funny because we were on the USA teams together. So, Jolene Anderson in college for sure. And God, I would gotta say, God, Renee Haynes, college. Man, your friends, playing against your friends, She's always so quick and running around all the time. Like, sit still.
Yeah, she always was running and she was always hustling. She was knee pads, bro. So Brady had it that minute, man. I swear she would be diving on the floor, getting all them loose balls, man.
Yes.
She was tough. Shout out Rainey. All right, last one. Your top 5 sports movies.
Remember the Titans. Loving basketball.
Gotta have it.
Coach Carter. Oh, that's 3. I don't know. I need 3. I need 5. Those are mine.
Man can't jump above the rim.
No, not those. Those weren't my jams. Like, loving basketball was how I wanted to live my life. I remember very clearly. It was 13 when it came out, and it's really funny because I never never wanted to go to WNBA. It was just getting started then, but I always wanted to go overseas. So I was like, oh my God, like I'm living the life of Monica. Like this is what I want to do. I couldn't go to USC. Like I couldn't do that. But yeah, I love basketball for sure. Remember the Titans? I still watch that to this day.
I love that movie. Anytime it comes on TV, I have to watch it and recite it. And that's an all-time classic. That's an all-time classic.
Yeah.
Well, that is it. That is a wrap. I greatly appreciate you, coming on the show and just sharing your journey, dropping some knowledge. Hopefully, we can definitely keep inspiring the youth. It's good to hear that you are doing so many things to help, propel the youth and, show them what we know. I was growing up not necessarily having that female role model to, bounce ideas off of or just look up to. And so, it's so dope to hear that you're, doing that and really being a role model for the young ladies and even the boys growing up too.
No, I appreciate you having me on because this is dope. I love what you're doing here. And it's, we got to be the ones to tell the stories, because now they're thinking we're so old. So being able to share with them what they may not even know, not always having to use the let's Google me makes it nice. So thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, no problem, man. I teach gym class and I tell my students how old I am. They're like, dang. I'm like, oh, am I really that old? Hurt my feelings. But if you guys want to check out and keep up to date with Marscilla, here's her Instagram. And you are also currently working with BSN Sports. Do you want to shout them out at all?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a sales pro with BSN Sports. It's allowed me to still stay connected to the area high schools and, be an extension of their program with any uniform and equipment needs. So, if you guys need anything, we're the way to go for sure.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. If y'all need any type of team apparel, hit up BSN Sports for all your needs. And you can catch this episode and all episodes on YouTube, Legacy Basketball, or Legacy 23 Basketball channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe so that you can get all notifications for the next show. That's a wrap. Till next time. Peace.